Student loans are in forbearance again. It is extended for what, like the 5th time. I've got details and what you should do coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, student loans have been in forbearance since, March of 2020. And just before Christmas, the White House announced again they are extending the forbearance period, the pause on student loans. I'm going to explain coming up. The big question is why and what you should do about it. All right, so way back in the CARES Act, so this was, you got to go all the way back to March of 2020. The unemployment rate had gone from below 4% up to 15%, just like that. We shut the economy down. No one was hiring. People were getting their job was being suspended, was being cut, was being layoffs, all sorts of stuff. And could you imagine if you had recently graduated, had a lot of student loans, and then all of a sudden your income disappeared and you were on unemployment, which again, they boosted and all that sort of stuff. But at that time, in the CARES Act, part of this huge government spend to help keep people afloat during such a challenging time, they did the unprecedented, and that was put a forbearance on all eligible student loans, okay? And what they mean by forbearance, what I mean is that the payments were paused, okay? Payments were suspended. Second, interest rates were moved to zero for eligible loans. So interest wasn't accumulating, all right, and being added to your loans. That's typically what happens if you're in some sort of forbearance. No, interest rates were moved to zero so that interest wasn't capitalizing, okay? And then if you were already in default, which there's 7 million people in default on student loans, that is evidence there's a bigger problem at work here. 7 million people in default, they were going to stop collections, okay? So that's what was done in the CARES Act, and it was done in March of 2020. And they said, we're going to give you all the way until the end of September, and then you'll have to restart payments. Well, we got to that point and they extended it. And I believe that the first extension was pretty close to the end of the year. Then they extended it again into 2021. Then they extended it to the end of January of 2022. Okay, and so as of right now, before the White House made this announcement, we all expected payments for student loans would start and interest would start February 1st of 2022. And I'm just going to say for some reason, okay, the White House announced, 2 weeks ago that this forbearance has been extended, and now payments will start May 1st of 2022. So the big question to me is why? Why extend again? Why give another 90 days before payments and interest and all that is supposed to start? Well, in one study, apparently there was a survey done, 49% of all student loan borrowers say they are not at all confident that they could restart payments on February 1st. That is alarming. Half of student loan borrowers say that they aren't confident at all that they can restart payments right now, when we've had an absolutely booming economy, when there's more people, more job openings than there are people looking for jobs, when wages are having high pressure to go up. Yes, it's because of inflation and all that, but still wages are going up and businesses are desperate to find people. Still, half of student loan borrowers are not confident at all, or not at all confident, I think is what the article said from that survey. That is alarming. So that could be one reason that the White House proposed this. Another, I think this is positioning, potentially by the White House, putting a stay on these loans to give the White House and Congress more time to apply the real agenda with student loans, which is outright forgiveness. Now, they tried that a little bit last year, didn't go anywhere. I think a lot of eyes are looking at the White House saying, what are you going to do? Are you going to do some executive order? And so this could just be putting a stay on that until a stay on these loans and the interest and so on for Congress to figure out their next approach towards student loan forgiveness altogether. During the pandemic, there's been about $1 trillion of student loans that have been forgiven for one reason or another. And so this possibly just grants a little extension for Congress to figure out how to forgive loans completely. Check out this article here. It's depending on what side of the aisle or the fence you stand on with student loan forgiveness, this might make you sick here, what they're proposing, but outright, forgiving of all student loans, the $1.7 trillion of student loans, I think is where we're at right now, forgiving all of them, forgiving loans $50,000 or below, forgiving $15,000 or below, $10,000 or below. We'll see. That's another potential reason why they did this. And then the third, obviously, there's a lot of people saying this is just trying to buy some votes. Obviously, the White House's approval rating since the election has gone down for young adults, and so those are the ones that are most, prominently, advantaged by the extension of this student loan forbearance, and so. It could just be, political posturing. All right, we'll see. To me, I have grave concerns over what this is communicating. I can't imagine a more confusing time to be a student loan borrower or even someone that's going to college, right? I can't imagine a more confusing time because right now you've got your interest, your payments are suspended, your interest rate is 0. So if you're financially healthy, wow, this is a great time to get caught up or to get ahead on your student loans. But then wait a second, why would you do that if they're talking about forgiving all these student loans? You don't want to start making some payments, then all of a sudden find out that the payment was forgiven. What a confusing time in the mixed messages that are being sent by those in office, those that are sort of having power right now. What a confusing time for borrowers sending these mixed messages. So what should you do? I would go to principles as opposed to get caught up in the confusion, okay? So to me, if you are financially stable, if you are financially in a position to make progress on your student loans, I would do so even though they're at 0%, okay? If you are, if you have a large balance, something like that, I would make progress on your student loans, okay? If you are concerned or thinking, well, geez, they might forgive all these loans, okay, well, fine, then aggressively pay them down until you have a reasonable amount, maybe $15,000 or $10,000 of student loans. And then if you want to see maybe they'll enact some sort of forgiveness, then the payment that you're supposed to be making, save that up in a bank account. Okay, so save up your 10 grand or your 15 grand so that if and when they decide, okay, we're going to forgive loans, then great, you took advantage of that. But if they don't and payments restart in May or the, Congress comes out and makes some sort of communication, we're going to be unable to forgive student loans, then you've got the cash built up and you can just pay it off, wipe it out, okay? So if you are financially stable, financially in a position to make progress on your student loans, I would do so while the interest rate's at 0. If you want to do that, but still hedge against, well, they might forgive some loans, pay your balances down to about $10,000 or $15,000 and then build up that cash so you can pay it off completely when and if that time comes. 2, if you are currently working some sort of income related payment amount, okay, or working some sort of forgiveness program that's currently in place, then I wouldn't be paying on your loans right now, okay? Instead, I would be using those dollars that otherwise should be going back onto your loans. I would be using those dollars to strengthen your financial position, building up cash, saving into a Roth IRA, paying down some other debt, something like that. And then 3, if you're not financially healthy right now, to me, 49% saying they don't know how they could restart payments starting February 1st, guys, something bigger is at work here. The economy was shut down and now it is exploding. And it's been exploding for almost a year, okay? Almost a year. And we've got half of all student loan borrowers that still don't know how they could make a payment right now. That means something greater. We've got a greater problem here than just, extending forbearance will actually solve. So if that's you, if you are in that camp where you say, there's no way There's no way I could restart payments. You've got to make some hard choices financially. You've got to look at what financial choices you're making and make some hard choices to get back on track financially, okay? So use this time then to figure out, okay, what could you cut? What areas could you cut? What things could you sell? Build up some cash, pay down some debt, get yourself in a financially strong position so that when payments do restart, you're not part of that 49%. You have moved from maybe a posture of weakness to a posture of strength financially. Work with your CFP. Work with your CFP. Seek some help. Get some debt counseling. Get some financial counseling to stabilize your financial situation so that you can use this time and not squander it, okay? No matter where you are with student loan debt, work with your CFP. Figure out what the right approach is for you. Should you be paying yours down? Should you be building up cash just in case they forgive loans? Should you be working a different type of forgiveness program, one that's already in existence? Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can always contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with a K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well. Or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.